introduce ourselves.
Go. Start.
Kasi not everyone knows. Well, there's three people that I'm talking to, and us three, including me. So,
Who's
who
gonna
should
start?
start?
Yes.
This is
Vaughn.
what?
Vaughn, why don't you?
Nabigla naman ako kagad yung mag-start.
You
Okay. Well, since this is going to be like a podcast slash conference, since everybody can see us and will be able to watch us once this is uploaded. I'm Von Kalimag, and I'm currently a practicing Buddhist, and I've been in the Buddhism community of Fogwangshan for a year or more, and I would like to know more about Buddhism and how the idea of Buddhism in terms of the lives of the youth in the Philippines is, and how are we going to be related, or how can we relate ourselves to the other Buddhists all over the world. So that's my very brief introduction.
I'll go next.
okay?
I'm Scott. I'm currently with the Buddhist Light International Association Youth Subdivision, although I look older.
Oh.
Okay, so I've been helping, have a lot of experiences with the local Chinese, Filipino Chinese, Muslim, and Fogwangshan.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, well, hello. My name is Francis, and I've been in Fogwangshan for, I think, 5 years. 5 years, 5 years.
Mm.
So I'm still practicing Buddhism. So it was a difficult journey at the beginning because, of course, you're learning what Buddhism is, and from a Catholic faith, and then eventually you gradually change to Buddhist. It's a journey of its own.
Interesting to know your story, Francis. I haven't heard the whole. What are you doing today? Maybe you can.
I'm excited because this is our very first, how do you call it, like a podcast slash video conference. So it's a short discussion, a very cute, cool discussion about our lives and the lives of the, young Buddhists in our
Young Buddhist.
generation. Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm very happy to be part of this very first podcast. Well, the whole program will actually be more of like us sharing with each other about our experiences, most especially the two of you, because you guys have been in the community for such a long time, and it's very exciting to discuss experiences, especially that some of us, especially here in the Philippines, most of us are actually very religious in terms of our Catholic faith. I myself came from a Catholic community. It's very relevant nowadays because a lot of people is curious or asking or wanted to expand their knowledge in terms of the Buddhism faith. Let's go with, I think we can start first with you guys to warm us up. Let's go back to the previous question, which is how are you coping up with the pandemic now? Kasi, di ba, everyone was starting to be paranoid, diba? And as a Buddhist, how are you coping up with the adjustments of what's happening everywhere?
Do you find it difficult, like, to meditate?
Yun nga, and that's a very good question. That's very good.
Actually, it's ironic, no? You have more time to meditate, but the feeling is some kind of different. Parang, I don't know. It's like a lot of Buddhists now had this notion now. This 2 months or few weeks is part of their daily retreat, unwinding, repracticing meditation, more chanting or focusing in their everyday practice. For me, I've had some. Sometimes I chant the Heart Sutra or mantras, and then it's a kind of meditation as well. So I don't know about you guys.
Ako, I tried meditation, like,
How about you, Sam?
I did try meditation bro, no, the first season of the lockdown. And then it was doing well. And then they announced, like, second season of the lockdown. So so I like, I feel more anxious right now than I more relaxed.
Why?
there's just a lot of things going
because of the lockdown.
hindi mo alam kung kailan matatapos. Like, it's never gonna go extend. So, you just have to, like, go back. Good thing that there's a live, no?
Mhm.
Live Dharma service. I think it helps when you know that your community, the Buddhist community where you belong, is actually trying you to continue the practice. Yeah, for me, that's my
And
experience.
I remember, no, Venerable Master Xing he after once the pandemic started, he advised everyone to recite the Heart Sutra. So usually when you have so much sutras in Buddhism, very long sutras, you can have Medicine Sutra or another sutra for this pandemic. But the one he suggested actually is Heart Sutra. I was talking to Venerable Yulin, and then he said, don't you wonder why Venerable Xingyun suddenly just say that, hey guys, everyone, please recite the Heart Sutra, and let's have a global movement of the Heart Sutra. And she was explaining, she said that actually the reason is inside the Heart Sutra, it's telling us how we control our emotions while in this pandemic, when everyone is having their fear, anxiety, and uh, unsureness of what will happen next.
It's overwhelming.
What's more important is we go back to ourselves, look into our heart. It's overwhelming. Actually, literally, it's the Heart Sutra is the prescription of how we want to deal with ourselves. So I think it's
Yeah.
insight for it.
Ako, I would say I would agree on you, Scott. Pero like what I said as a beginner, no, parang I have not immersed myself so much with the Heart Sutra. I'm not totally aware of the mantras and the prayers that we are required or about to practice. With my experience with Fogwangsan in my little meditation experience, I think it's really more of tama rin yung narinig ko kay Francis na parang um, even si Francis, she's been in the temple for such a long time, but she's still feeling anxious, diba? So parang how about yung pagbago ka lang sa community and you're very, you're open, but you totally not really understand how things will work and how the prayers work. Kasi I haven't read the chants, I haven't understand any of the single prayers. So, how can you advise us, kami, na parang, uy, we don't have any knowledge about it in terms of meditation. What can we do? Like, very little meditation so that some of our fellow members would understand.
Francis, what do you think?
This is the right time to to actually learn it. Ito na yung parang
Actually, yeah.
they put
Kasi di ba, isolation, nasa isolated world ka, no?
this is the right spot where you
Uh,
practice it.
yeah.
Yeah, Scott.
Yeah, that's actually a wonderful, an opportunity for us
Mm-hmm.
to try to ponder all the different teachings. So, back to the question of one, how or what
Mm-hmm.
advice. They always have this saying that have the 平常心, the heart that doesn't change. What I mean by that, kumbaga is whatever you do, you maintain the balanced state of your heart or your emotions. Throughout this pandemic, one thing that will save us is to still have the same heart. Hindi tayo sobrang agitated, we're not too happy or too sad. We still have the same heart, same balanced emotion while we're going through this pandemic. I think that works for me as if I were to choose one practice to maintain.
Yeah, I think for that one you have like you need a constant reminder of what you need to do. And siguro for you, Von, since you're starting out, like maybe you can start with this one. Yung kung ano yung sinabi ni Scott. Like you have to put a note to yourself so that you
Mm-hmm.
did. Kasi sometimes when it's just in your mind and you don't see the actual writing, parang, okay, sige, for this day, I don't know what to do. Like, you're kind of lost. Ganyan.
Yeah.
I feel that most of the time because of the pandemic, you have more time to ponder, to think, what's really the meaning of life?
Mm-hmm.
Why
Well,
am I really here? Compared when you're busy at work and then you go back, you only have 1 hour to think. Now you have 8 hours a day to think.
Actually, that's true. Ako naman siguro from what you guys have shared, I just realized no, in the past few days, kasi the very first start of COVID, we were at my condo. So me and my mom and my two other cousins, we were staying there. So parang totoo nga naman if you expose yourself so much in terms of social media and TV, so talagang lahat ng information na nakukuha mo no, nasasagap mo like oh, we have this newfound case. Oh, another set of people. And then every day, no, sila yung nag-create ng talagang worry and anxiety. And ikaw
True.
parang, what am I gonna do? The following day, it will be same set of information and then how the government responds to it, how the charities works to it, how the church is helping to it. So parang ikaw parang, wait, mag-aalala na ba ako? Do we have enough
Mm.
food? Am I going to get enough funds? Because of course you have to consider, diba, your funds, your money. I have still enough for the coming days? And until when are we still going back to normal? Diba? Yung mga yun. So I think this very experience na tama nga kayo, when we went back to, nasa old house kami, so we isolated ourselves from some social medias, and there's no TV here. So it's really more of like
Oh,
family bonding. So talagang naka-focus ka all by yourself, doon ka lang sa room mo, or kung hindi, doon ka sa sala, you can interact. I think right now I have more interaction when it comes to family members than just listening to what's happening outside our house or our
actually,
home. So
the social media is really toxic. The start of after a week, I was reading palang after the lockdown. I'm getting updated on the news, and I realized I got preoccupied the whole day because of the news. And then, inisip ko na, okay, I know how many died. I know how many got infected. I know whatever problem they have with the government. Now, do I really have something to do now? Right?
exactly, diba?
If I rant now in social media, it's not that I can influence a politician right away what will happen. Diba? So
Mhm.
I thought, okay, so whatever I do now, I can't influence the government, but at most I can
Yeah.
influence what I will be doing in the next few weeks. So what I did was I deleted all the social media in my cell phone, and then I tried not to open social media until afternoon. So in the whole morning, I can do meditation. I can do a bit of reading books, doing my thesis, doing reading more things to learn. So once you put social media, the very first thing in the morning, oh no, your day is just it won't go well.
yeah, it happened. It happened
It's-
indeed. Like for me, I'm also doing my paper for school. I think I even
Mhm.
told my professor, "Na thank you for giving us like readings, kasi it makes us sane and you're not relying on the social media like all the time. It's the same post of all your friends, the same thing, and wala ka na pick up na bagong information. Like a good thing that there's a class for me, which is
Actually,
reading and just writing my paper. I think for me that's an advantage. But if you just like work, imagine the work is also extended into an hour na it used to be like 8 hours and then now it's like more than 8 hours. Like, I could imagine for those who are working, like Von, no?
Mhm. Yeah.
it's
That's
it's
actually
it's hard.
mhm. Actually yun yung nakikita kong in terms of meditation for me as a beginner, like what I told you, since I couldn't really fully understand the whole Heart Sutra, but I can control my emotions by by being alone, not really like super alone, but isolated from the world just by my house. So I think that's just one simple meditation by not exposing so much yourself in the television or in terms of social media. So you have a time to reflect and think about, wait, how do I balance my emotion? How do I balance my feelings right now? Am I going to be anxious? Am I going to be worried for the next coming months? Or should I just, take advantage of this free time to settle, to how do you call it?
Oh,
Like be warm.
There's a concept, no, I want to share also. It's called the this thing I love to master it. It's called the eight winds of eight
Mm-hmm.
winds. Eight winds meaning eight emotions that we have. So whatever we have, when we are affected every day by these eight winds. So if we can try to maintain a balance, not to be affected by them, then you will be able to go back to our normal heart. What I called a while ago, ping chang xin. If we will be able to maintain that. So they say we look at things objectively. I remember this watch. I once went to our guidance counselor in Lasal. Sabi niya, Scott, this watch. Tell me, describe it. Sabi ko, it's beautiful. Sabi niya, no, I didn't tell you to on it. I told you to describe what it is. It's a watch. It's color silver. Okay. So do I like it or not? Okay. But yeah, I just describe as it is. So if in life we can just look at things at its suchness and do not differentiate it's good or bad, I'm angry, I'm sad, then go back to our middle. Then we can do things in a sane way. Yeah. That's how I see it.
that's advanced Buddhism. You can see, no? You can see Scott.
Yay! I balance.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is really good at the same time as a beginner, no, when you listen to people with so much experience. Pero parang at the same time, parang, wait, how do you feel the balance? No, parang, wait, I'm too happy right now. I don't want to be, di ba, most of us would say, I'm so happy, I don't want to feel sad. Or I'm too sad, I don't want to be instantly happy. Or else parang, di ba, parang may sakit ka na. But then, the beauty of you learning, going through the middle of it, parang it's really more of, I think, through an experience or more of, again, meditation. Parang how do you middle yourself? Diba?
Yeah, you
Pero
balance
wait,
our
there's
emotion.
so much more.
Mm-hmm.
True, which is balancing is really very important. But I would like to go on to a question before we go to that hard solid foundation of your deep meditation or this kind of concepts of how to control your emotions or be normal as you can be or para maging consistent ka when it comes to how you feel. How did you guys started with entering into this community? How did you guys started uh, joining into Buddhism? I know that well for some people, I personally know that Scott was actually born into this culture, but for some people they don't know. Let's start with you guys explaining how did you get into this? How did you know that, oh, this is a really good concept for myself? Or were you forced to go into it? Is there something that you would like other people to understand?
Want me to start?
Oh,
Anyone, actually
Okay.
anyone can.
Okay. Cut me if it's too long. Okay. So I'll try to shorten. Uh, they said, the people in the temple, all of them, they tell me, oh, I watched you grow up. Okay, you watched me grow up. I remember my first time they brought me to the temple. I think it's 1 or 2 years old. Today I'm 23. So for more than 20 years, I've been being brought in and out of the temple. So so I was active when I was a kid. I always go with my mom. Then I run around the temple, being scolded. Diba? Oh, come on, ulit. And then I sometimes I sleep when there is a dharma service, like a prayer. They pray, I sleep there. And then after sabihin na, Scott, gising na, the prayer is done. Ganun. So, and then
Oh.
those how I started. And then I do not love eating vegetables when I was a kid until recently. So when I go to temple, I always skip the meal. Okay. No, it's okay. I'm full. Then one time, no, biglang may nagsabi, oh, may ice cream. Ay, hindi. Busog na si Scott. Iyak naman ako. Gusto ko ng ice cream. So, it was the hard time when I was a kid. And then I attended their children's class. Okay. So I don't know really many things about Buddhism. No. It's just plainly going there. It's like a normal daycare. I go there, I see people, meet friends. I join the Rendalia until mid grade school to high school. I will go there sometimes to attend prayers. But I lessened. Okay, I lessened. I lessened the times I go, especially in high school. And then I started delving deeper when I was in my second and third year high school. One Venerable Yung Guang, so invited me. Sabi niya, Scott, do you want to volunteer in Taiwan? So I said, okay, good. I want to try. So I went to Taiwan, and then unknowingly, instead of volunteering in a specific place, she asked me to go to the Buddhist college with the venerables. Buddhist college is actually where venerables or monks train first before they go out to the world. So they stay there for 3 to 4 years. So the difference of Shan's Buddhist college is, unlike other Buddhist college, they only accept monastics. Here in Shan, they accept lay people. So regardless if you're a monastic or not, you can go there and study. So I was fortunate. So at first I was hesitant, but it's okay. I'm familiar with the culture. So in that whole month, you're in isolation. You don't really have much contact with the outer world. Then I attend classes and then start to understand more about Buddhism. And since I was a kid, I was really inquisitive of a lot of things. I don't like taking things for granted. I wonder. I always ask my mom, why is it like this? Why is it like that? Why is it like this? Can you explain to me? Probably because of those, I got more questions. I mean, I got more answers. And then I also read a lot more books in Buddhism when I was in high school. So 2 consecutive years, my second and third year high school, I went there for a month in Taiwan. The second time is I wanted to go myself. It's really fruitful.
You're thinking,
You get so deep. Sorry.
are you thinking about going now?
No, not naman. But the experience is nice. So after that, I got more active with the YAD, okay, the Young Adult Division in the Philippines. Before I went to college, I didn't really have ideas. Sabi ko, what can I do for the Philippines? The vision. How can we really help the Philippines? Then I realized that actually a lot of our values that we see, we need to change can be helped by Buddhism. I was thinking, siguro kung more people know about Buddhism and they apply to their lives, it doesn't mean that they need to convert to become a Buddhist, but at least all their values, will be supported by Buddhism values. I think the Philippines is will grow very fast. The youth will be guided. Okay. So, and then I became more active when I was in college, and until now, in the division, and So I guess those are the highlights. Okay, we've done a lot with Frances. We've done a lot of programs. We went abroad to join conferences, so you get to meet more people, and then you get to understand delving deeper. Yeah.
True. I think if you're not from that culture, as you mentioned, one, I think you always start with the question, like what he did. He became more inquisitive.
Mm.
So, that's how I started. Like, how did Buddha knew that he is Buddha? Like for me, I started with that. So, di ba? It's a question kasi that's when the point of your life wherein also question yourself, like, how did you know that you are in the right path? Nobody, you're in the wrong path or you're in the right path. If you offend people, then that is the wrong path. Well, for me, that's a question. Like, what do I want to do and with my life? And how did the Buddha knew that he is the Buddha or he will become? Those things. So I started from that. I started with curiosity. And then after graduation, I went to the program of the temple. It's Hala. And then it's a 3-month program. So basically, your classmates are people from or all over the world. Um, there's a screening, so they will be interviewed, they will be asked why they want to join, so all of those things. And then we did introduction to Buddhism here for 2 months, and then another almost 1 month in Taiwan. So, like Scott, I entered Chunglin. I think we stayed there for 2 weeks. So it's a female Buddhist, ano naman, side nung,
Nice.
yeah. It was interesting at the beginning. Parang ang hirap-hirap gawin. Kasi everything is limited. The things that you need to bring, the things that you have to do is you're restricted. Hindi naman siya restriction, but do you have a guideline? Like, everybody enjoys their time there, and then hindi naman siya na mabigat sa feeling. At the beginning it is kasi syempre iba yung nakasanayan natin. Yeah. So nag-start siya doon, and then until I continue, I wanted to learn more about Buddhism because I saw how simple it is and it's easy to practice. And yeah. Ikaw, Von, how to start? Were you curious about it? Like me?
Well, actually, same. Yeah. I believe I would say I'm more inclined towards Francis' story kasi I came from a Catholic community then, and also I'm a former seminarian, and then I started getting curious and wait, what does the Buddha tells, or what is the Buddhist trying to tell me, or what will I be able to learn in when I enter the Buddhism community, the Buddhism world. And so when I initially started joining Pagwangsan, although um it wasn't hard for me to enter kasi during college, after graduating from college, I actually had this very short stint in joining parang a show in Pogwangsan. And then when I entered, I would call this a temple, of course, like a church, diba? Like I would call it a church for me when I entered. Sabi ko, I really wanted to go back. There's something in there. I don't really know. I think lahat tayo, di ba, when you have when you have a crush, parang, uy, ang cute nun, gusto kong balikan. Pero, hindi person yung hindi ako na-attract sa kahit anong person. I was first attracted with, with the food. It was really the food. So, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea who are the people serving, who are the people preparing the food. When I met the masters, I wasn't really like, I didn't fall in love with them at first. Kasi, syempre, they're all speaking in Chinese. So, parang, wait, my language barrier. Pero they all can also speak English naman. But I wasn't attracted to anybody. I believe there's an inner call. There's an inner, attraction. Diba? Na parang, wait, I love the food. I don't know, maybe because I wanted to become a vegetarian ever since. Pero that's just my case. But of course, maraming tao na gusto maging Buddhist, but they don't want to go
Just
vegetarian. Or wait, paano am I really required to become a vegetarian?
Yeah,
That's
good
diba?
question.
a lot of times. So you're Buddhist. Are you also vegetarian? So well,
Diba?
yeah,
Main question yan.
I'm vegetarian now. And then they said, is it because of the diet? Is it because you're losing calories? Mga ganon.
Wow.
Tapos sabi ko, it's the perks,
Isa pang point yun.
di ba? It's
Let's be practical. People are saying it's very expensive to become a vegetarian. Is that true? Kasi ikaw, Francis, you're a vegetarian. Is it really true?
hindi siya expensive, no? Depends on the choice of what kind of vegetarian you wanna be. Kung plant-based ka lang, basically, you get your products sa palengke. Gulay-gulay lang, ganon. I think what makes it expensive kasi not everyone cooks. Diba? I think it's you need to learn. If you're a vegetarian, like, you really need to be hindi naman picky sa food, pero you have to be mindful of the food that you are eating.
How
Ganun.
much you eat?
Yeah.
You can answer that question, Von.
Diba?
You're required to become a vegetarian when you're Buddhist. Have you
Or
thought?
will that may follow up question pa ako. Will that make you less of a Buddhist? or a practitioner if you don't eat vegetables. Something like that. Kasi di ba, a lot of young kids who are really very
Mhm.
interested to know na parang, oh, hindi na ako Buddhist if I eat less vegetables. Is that it?
Uh, no, actually, I'm not a vegetarian. I'm trying to shift. People have different reasons. Maybe we can go back to answer that question. We go back to the Buddhist time. So people ask, is Buddha vegetarian? Is
Is
he a vegetarian?
asking us?
Yeah, is he? Do you know?
No, he
He's
was.
not a
Ako,
vegetarian.
when you, I'm like struck with, I'm not sure.
He wasn't. He wasn't.
Buddha, he wasn't a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Oh, okay.
The Buddha just accepted whatever food was offered. Okay. But of course, there is this exception sa meat. I mean, if for example, yung meat na yun or that animal is literally killed just to offer them, syempre hindi nila accept yun. There are, I think, three exceptions. Okay. But in general, whatever is offered to them, they eat. That's why Buddha is not vegetarian. Vegetarianism actually is started from the Chinese culture. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dynasty in China, this emperor is really a patron, how do you call patron of Buddhism. He really loves Buddhism. And then he asked everyone to become a vegetarian. So that's the start of the vegetarian culture. And in China, and they spread to Japan, Korea, and other places. So it's a big influence. So there are still communities that they eat whatever they have, whatever was given to them. But most now, I think I mean, I'm talking about monastics. Most are already vegetarian. Most are vegetarian. Okay. Maybe 90%. I'm not sure.
Yeah. The thing about
But the question, uh,
yeah, go Scott.
uh, the question about one din, diba, is does it make you less Buddhist? So, what do you think, Francis?
Well, I think no. Vegetarianism, it makes you appreciate what compassion means. Yun talaga siya.
Oh, okay.
A lot of
I
times,
like it on that. I think yun yung gustong, I think that let's highlight on the compassion kasi they don't understand, wait, it's just a requirement. Di ba parang rule, okay, pag pumasok ka, we need one by one picture of you. Parang ganun, di ba? If you want to become a Buddhist, you need to eat vegetable. Now you're saying, wait, it's not really about vegetarianism. It's about compassion. So I think that's what we wanted to hear. Wait, what about compassion? What makes you compassionate when you eat vegetables? Diba?
well, there's a lot of things about vegetarianism. Siguro that you need to take from compassion and from vegetarianism, the whole practice of it. All in it, sa tingin ko is how I experience kasi is it's very difficult to transition from being a meat eater and then eventually, gradually you turn into vegetarian. And then there will be points siguro sa practice mo, feeling mo, you're craving, no? You're craving for the meat, you're craving for chicken. For me, that's the hardest, the chicken. Uh, I eat chicken every day. Like, I'm chicketarian. So,
Sarap pa naman ng Korean barbecue grill and stuff. Okay, sorry.
I tried all of it. I tried all the kinds of chicken cooked. And then one day I just feel like I have to stop because I will not know the real meaning of compassion if I will continue with it. And then up until now, I still feel the craving of chicken whenever you see mukbang. Syempre, di ba?
Yeah.
They make things delicious as you hear pa the crispiness of the chicken. So Von, maybe you wanna try the
Well, good. Ako, like what I said, diba, the very initial experience was really eating full vegetarian meal. Tapos parang I really didn't know that there's no meat there. And I'm so satisfied with all the different dishes that was served during that lunch buffet something. So it was really a mind blowing experience for me kasi I always wanted to become vegetarian. Although little by little, like I said, diba, sabi ko this year I wanted to be more consistent in not eating meat. But then there are times due to, you know, kung yung situational eh. But then, andun pa rin yung heart ko na parang I really wanted to become full-blooded talaga yung term, no? Full-blooded vegetarian. But I have a question kasi I think you've mentioned a while ago about mukbang. And there's a lot of people really watching nowadays mukbang shows, right? I think it started with Korean people eating a lot,
Yeah.
a huge set of meals and they're eating so much. It can also say like, wait, are they really finishing it? Di ba parang gluttony na yan? And so, parang, have you ever experienced watching a mukbang vegetarian food?
I don't know. Ako, I haven't eh. Siguro,
That will actually like try to help you na parang, uy, nagkakave na ako more vegetarian.
maybe we can do that next
There's
time.
no, I haven't seen it.
You do that, no?
Oh,
Yeah, actually, there's a very good, no, eating show na parang people are going to watch. What do you think? Do you think it will be helpful na parang for some people na kasi there's less exposure about food dishes that has a lot of vegetables. Even though that we have YouTube, we have online resources, not especially in the Philippines, everyone, di ba, parang even though they wanted to research, parang, wait, ano bang lasa ng parang pure vegetables, na parang wala nang, kasi I think most of the kids are afraid not to eat meat because they're afraid to lose yung lasa eh. Because there's this kind of taste when it comes to meat, diba? Parang,
Pero ma-averse ka eh. If you're continuing eating vegetables. I know, Francis, diba? You get averse after a while.
oo. Tsaka,
yeah, I
Na
think
lang,
after pag nag-stop ka,
I tend to taste thing in my food, no matter how bland it is.
mhm.
maybe we can think of it like this. Okay. Worms eat cadavers. Diba? There are animals that eat cadavers. For them, it's really delicious. But pag tayo papakain ng isang cadaver, will we eat it? Of course not. But imagine if our culture
Depende.
as a practice of eating these things, diba? Then it becomes a norm to us. But the taste adjusts. Same thing. Animals adjust. So yung nakakadiri sa animals, pwedeng di nakakadiri sa atin or vice versa. Again, my point is that I think it's just culturally imbibed onto us that we need to eat meat. There are a lot of research already telling us, okay, we are more like horses, like cows. You have long intestines that are more suitable for really a vegetarian diet. So, my what I think lang is that it's like, you have a bag. Then people are marketing super sarap. So, ganun lang nangyari sa food natin. Diba? Most likely ganun nangyari sa food. Masarap tong steak na to, masarap tong chicken, masarap tong pork. Then, eventually, yung perspective natin, masarap pala. So, kung culturally na-imbibe tayo. So, I think it's not impossible for us to shift again to vegetarianism.
Yeah,
Anyway.
one meal na vegetarian.
Sorry?
A lot one meal na vegetarian in a day. You can start from there.
Yeah.
We can start, we can start little by little, no? Na parang pwedeng morning vegetarian ako. Or dinner, kasi I think most of the people eat lesser food when it comes to dinner time. Kasi diba parang you don't want na the whole night you're still burning. So, you want to eat maybe vegetables.
Yeah, ang kalaban mo kasi
Out of reason.
cravings. When you crave for something, you give in.
Yes.
Yeah. So
That's a good practice actually. That's one aspect of Buddhism. You train your mind. Okay, if the chocolate is out of you, how do you not wanting the chocolate? It works for anything.
Yeah.
Because if food is not controlled, paano pa kaya bigger things? greediness,
Yeah.
anger. You want to kill somebody, galit na galit ka. Same feeling. How do you stop yourself from doing that? I think
So,
it's
is it
interesting.
even na parang if you turn vegetarian, parang less na yung nafe-feel mong hate, ganun ba yun? Less emotional ka na, ganun. Parang, I have longer patience. I have longer, tolerance.
I heard a lot of people say that they're less agitated after they become vegetarian. And the reason why, according to some explanations, is that when we eat a lot of meat, remember how are these things, creatures killed? Killed, you produce toxins, anger toxins, hatred toxins. So I'm not a scientist, but it affects now our hormones and everything. And nag-add siya, maybe sabihin na natin additional, nag-triggers, maging more maintain natin. I don't know, but that's what they say. So I don't know, I have no facts to back them up. I don't know about Francis.
Maybe.
Ikaw, Francis, what's your thought?
Well, I haven't found the correlation about it yet. Siguro kasi from the beginning I'm always calm. I'm always, it's been my nature to be that hindi masyadong responsive. So I'm not sure if it enhanced at some point. Mahaba din yung patience ko even before. I get bored all the time, pero with regards to patience, anger, and all of that stuff, I'm not easily agitated, as you say. Yeah.
Siguro, I am
Hindi
thinking
mo din
another.
masabi
No?
na factor.
Yeah, we cannot think. But I think that
No.
the fact,
Yeah.
because if the reason you're a vegetarian is not because you're born vegetarian, but you do it because of compassion to other people. You don't like seeing animals being killed just for your tongue. Diba? It's the same logic. Parang, I want that person to suffer para maging satisfied ako. Then you have this notion, you train your mind. Diba? So, the perspective changes. How we treat small things affect us really in a bigger way. So, probably that may be the reason why you're more compassionate to people. You don't understand their feelings. You have more empathy. If the reason for you being vegetarian is because of empathy. So for that, it could make sense in a way. So I still guess it depends on why people become vegetarian. And then the science fact, I don't know. Maybe if you can, make a...
Malapit na maging vegetarian si Von. That's next.
I
Yes.
know, I'm excited. Feeling ko nga na-focus masyado dun sa consumerism eh. That's why we are, and tama din kaya about marketing, no? Consumerism and plus marketing techniques. Talagang people are really getting into a lot of meat, meat-based food. Kasi nga, you know, sobrang they spend a lot of money just to promote it. But then think about it, people are become more conscious,
Health conscious.
more
That's the
aware
reason.
of their diet, diba?
Yeah.
Because of the new sickness that are being developed, eventually being developed or parang coming out. So parang wait, or I think it also embodies what uh we are who. Tama ba? Can you help me with that phrase? Parang we are what we eat.
Yeah.
Tama ba yun? We are what we eat.
Yes.
Who thought
So
about that?
that's basically. I actually have no idea where it
Actually.
came from.
True.
So parang if we eat a lot of, di ba?
Oo. Kasi there are people who eat a lot of meat, let's say pork or unhealthy stuff, and then you can see it in their body that they have
Okay.
they have those kinds. Hindi naman exactly that if you eat a lot of gulay, you become gulay. It's not like that. Pero
Yeah, true.
it's what you acquire.
That's a misconception. Yeah, misconception. Actually, it's very healthy. A lot of athletes are already vegetarian. And sabi, the leading cause of heart disease, di ba, is really from from meat. I mean, statistically, I saw a TED talk that's providing the figures. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So
Don't eat meat. Kahit meron silang lahi. Those who eat vegetarian, kahit may lahi silang heart disease, okay, the probability becomes lower compared sa walang heart disease but you eat meat. The probability of you getting heart disease is very, very high compared to those others. So
So wait,
this
are you saying lifestyle can overtake genetics?
yes, that's the provided to us. So baga parang he's comparing A and B. Si B may lahi siyang heart disease.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos wala siyang lahing heart disease. Okay, A and B. So technically, B, yung chances niya to have a heart disease should be higher. Tama ba? Theoretically.
Yeah.
Now, both of them took the different diet. Okay? Etong meron ng history, he took vegetarian. Etong walang history, he takes meat. Okay? And given the whole population size, yung sample nila ganun. Now, what it ended up that people who eat meat, kahit wala silang lahi, mas mataas ang chances sila magka-heart disease compared sa may lahi na vegetarian. So, the correlation is really, it's like almost a causation. I mean, given other factors equal, but we can say that it's really,
I've also seen a research about it. I read.
hmm,
Increases the factors na magiging at risk ka compared sa, alam mo nang you are at risk, but then you put more risk to your risk. So basically, you're just gonna get it. Ganun.
it's a leading.
So talagang malaking factor, no, yung what we eat, what really digest every day, no. It's really lifestyle is really very important.
It is.
Yeah, it's interesting
Well,
about vegetarianism.
Do you think
Drew, I actually agree.
it's easy now to become a Buddhist?
Yun
Well,
nga eh,
again,
actually that's my
it's
question
environment.
with all the experiences, with all the discussions that we've gone through, parang it's a very good question if someone's watching right now, or eventually if somebody or someone will be able to like listen or watch our video conference about you guys, um how you guys are experiencing right now, and how are you going through your Buddhist lifestyle. And me, as I'm a newbie, a newcomer to the community. Parang are how can you expound on the idea of how does it feel like being a Buddhist? If I'm a newcomer, if there's somebody interested, how does it feel like being a Buddhist right now? Is it hard? Diba? With all the compassionate discussions, compassion topics, vegetarianism. Some of you are saying you're not obliged to do vegetarian
Yeah,
meals every day.
it's,
Diba?
it's supposed to be very easy. Kaya lang kasi what makes it complicated are those terms. That's why we only have like speak good words, think good thoughts, and do good deeds. No, it's how they simplify
Mhm.
it. So it's at the beginning it's overwhelming, but the most important part there is that you are open to experience a lot of things, to learn. It's really the openness of yourself that makes things easy for you to learn Buddhism, for you to practice Buddhism. Yeah, what do you think, Scott?
I think when people ask what's Buddhism, I think we can use the metaphor. It's like if you don't believe in gravity, does it remove gravity? No, it's still there. Because Buddhism is just, or Buddha is just laying the facts. What are the other
Mhm.
laws in this world? So, regardless if you don't believe in Buddhism, you believe or not, these conditions still happening. Okay? Buddha
Yeah.
didn't eat these. He just discovered, may ganito pala. And he got enlightened. He was sharing to everyone. And he said, okay, I'm sharing this to you. It's up to you if you want to believe it. Now, take gravity. Now we understand, okay, may gravity pala. Now, what happens? We change our perspective towards the world. We always consider, okay, there's gravity. So if I throw something, it will fall down. So same
Mhm.
thing. When we understand Buddhism, now we get more ideas on what are the laws that are happening to us. And it guides us to a different perspective in life compared to people who don't even know that there is this kind of gravity. I mean, are you following? Parang ganun. So I think that's why the more we learn, the more we the more we learn about Buddhism, it should actually make our lives more easier because we understand more things.
Right, right. So if there's a new person who wanted, well, not really like a new person, if there's a person who wanted to be part of a Buddhist community, what's the first step that he or she needs to take or do, or what advice can you give to them? Na, wait, I'm very interested into the concept of Buddhism. Steps am I that I need to do, or what advice can you give me?
Ako,
Especially now, COVID ngayon. There's no way to go to the temple, diba? And my only sources is the internet.
yeah, for me, siguro advice is first, be curious. Second,
Mhm.
be open to possibilities, open to information, open to learn. Third is be observant. Kasi you cannot just go there and then declare yourself na, I want to learn Buddhism. No, you have to observe what people are doing. And then, siguro, no, the most practical is attend Dharma Sunday.
Yeah, because it's the English
So
for
wait,
Yeah.
yeah, I actually wanted to expand on that. Since due to quarantine and COVID, and there's no way for us, even yung other religious denomination, diba? What can you advise to a newcomer to the Buddhist community? Just, do we have an online dharma that they can attend to? What are the expectation when they attend that? Is there available? Is it available online?
if you are interested in Buddhism. First is question. You need to ask.
Mhm.
If you don't ask, you won't get any question. I mean, you won't get any answer. Whatever you ask, question the teachings, question your life. If you stop asking, you stop getting answers. Even the Buddha said, these are just what I discovered. Now, question everything. Don't just believe me because you respect me or because I'm your teacher. Question them and only believe in them if you found them true to you into your life. So same thing. We question. Do I really need to do this? Why is life so hard sometimes? Why do I get angry? What's causing me to get anxiety? When we start asking those questions, then we start looking for the questions. Our perspective, becomes different. Then we start to get answers. Now, how does it relate to Buddhism? Because they say in Buddhism, actually, it can answer a lot of your questions, most of your questions in life. Then you try to search even in Google, in YouTube, you hear more of the Dharma. When I say Dharma, I'm just talking about the teachings. Or when people expounding about the teachings of the Buddha, we call it Dharma. So just look for these Dharma around inspirational venerables. There are a lot in YouTube, in Google. Then you'll get more perspective. Okay, there will be different schools in Buddhism. There will be Theravada, Mahayana, different traditions. But at first, I'll encourage everyone to just search, and then when you can compare it before you decide, okay, I think I'd like this better. Then you try to look, go to an organization and try, for example, to Foguangshan, or you can go to other small groups and then learn more. So I think that's the first step. All about differences.
Finding the affinity.
Yeah, we call this affinity. Saan ka mas malapit?
Affinity. Very important. Yeah.
So if like
Yeah.
curious about Dharma Sundays, it's Foguangshan English Dharma services. So they can just subscribe and then they announce naman what time will be it will be up the videos, and then there will be Dharma talk after the chanting.
It's a good start.
Okay, that's good to hear. That's actually a really good resource. Well, good thing that we're inviting them, and there's so many available information online. They can always research Fogwangshan, the Fogwangshan Temple. There's a Fogwangshan Manila. We have the temple base in Manila, right? So
Yes.
there's also other temples all over the countries.
So we have Iloilo, Bacolod, and Cebu.
Okay. And then it's always open naman, right? If somebody wants to send a message directly to to the temple, or there's somebody who will answer. And I believe there's so many other topics that we can discuss and talk about in the coming, hopefully in the next coming episodes, or the next conference call that we're gonna have. We will be discussing a lot more. And if they do have, are you guys open? If they have questions or comments on how to, improve this, I would call this like the youth of Manila, the Buddhist youth of
Yeah.
Manila show. I would call it like a show, maybe, or an open discussion wherein we discuss Buddhism topics, Buddhism lifestyle, and the life of the Filipino youth in terms of in the Buddhist community.
Yes, definitely. Of course, we love to have your questions. No questions, no answers. Maybe there are questions that you have, and the ones you've already thought of. It will help us also.
Yeah, just comment or suggest any topics you want us to talk about, and then
Yeah.
we'll try to accommodate it.
If
I
you
think
like,
it's good to
let us
have a
know.
Twitter. Do you think it's good to have a Twitter account wherein they can send a direct message, or an Instagram? Do we have an Instagram account or a
Hmm?
Twitter account wherein people send a direct message
Tweet,
whenever they have
no
questions?
Twitter now, no. I think see Instagram and Facebook, Bilay Philippines, BLIAYAD Philippines.
And
So
our Instagram is BLIAYAD.
Okay.
it will be posted.
Yep. So
BLIAD.ph.
yes, correct for Instagram.
Okay, that's it.
Well,
Great. Thank you so much, guys. I had
Thank you,
fun
Ron.
with all this discussion, and I believe this is a really good start.
Yep. So yeah, I hope more people could join us. We can invite more speakers if venerables. So if we feedback that everyone wants more, and then we can maybe fix the time and then the topics, and we can invite speakers. And then I believe it will be helpful for everyone, at least to suit the culture we have here in the Philippines and how we can practice. Either we are Buddhist or non-Buddhist.
all right. So that's it for this,
That's it. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you,
Thank you so
guys,
much.
everyone.
and have a great night.